Welcome to Change Your Story, the podcast that helps women build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life from the inside out. I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition educator, and mindset mentor, and I am here to help you feel strong, confident, and free in your body. Not by starving, shrinking, or punishing yourself, but by training with a purpose, eating with a purpose, and having faith through the process so you can change the way you see yourself forever. Inside this podcast, we break free from diet culture, perfectionism, and all the stories that have held you back. We rewrite the new ones rooted in truth, strength, and self-love. You will hear real talk, faith-fueled encouragement, proven fitness and nutrition strategies, and the mindset tools you need to stay consistent, stay focused, and believe in yourself again. If you are ready to stop starting over, build a life you love, and finally change your story, you are in the right place. Let's build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. Let's rewrite your story. What is up, my girlies? Welcome back to the Change Your Story podcast. We are still on the series of the real work. I'm loving this series. Are you loving this series? Make sure you let me know. You can always tag me on social media. Share this episode with 3 friends that you know it will impact today. Today, you guys, we are talking about the inner work. Is the real work, the work that we typically avoid unless we see a therapist, do counseling, but we don't really know how to do this ourselves. And so we're going to get into that today. But before we do, you guys, we started the Aligned Challenge today that is in the Fit Club. It is not too late to join, okay? It is not too late. It is never too late. You can join the app whenever you want. You get a 7-day free trial. You have your mindset work in there. You've got your devotionals, your journals. We have personal development book club. This is actually totally free, the book club. You can see the show notes below. In the app, we have workouts. We have Pilates. We have weighted workouts. We have home workouts, gym workouts. You can swap out your exercises. We have meal plans. We have recipe libraries, all macro balance, yummy, all the family will love, all your taste buds will love. We have nutrition education. We have the Fit Fuel School to teach you all about nutrition and what your body needs in order to thrive and feel good. Because the Fit Club is not just a fitness and nutrition platform. It is a space and a place where you come to put yourself first, your relationship with yourself first, and build that relationship. That woman that you see when you look in the mirror, it is a part of you going, you know what, I love you, and you have so much to give, and you are worthy of having it all, and everybody in your life needs you to love yourself and have a healthy relationship with yourself, because when you feel good, guess what? Life is good. And so the Fit Club is a place where we work on a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life in that order. So today we are talking about the real work. Any links that you need or that you hear in this episode are in the show notes below. You can always follow me on social media. Everything's in the show notes below. But let's get into this podcast today. I want to start with a prayer, okay? I want to start with a prayer, and it's something that some of my girlies in sobriety will know, but I think it's a prayer that we should all say, and it's this. Okay, are you ready? Close your eyes. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart and say this prayer with me. God, or whatever you believe, you can say universe, source, whatever you believe. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Can I get an amen? This prayer is so powerful. So when I was writing this episode out and really thinking about that prayer, just came to me because, you know, the inner work, you know, is going to require us to look in. It's going to require awareness. It's going to require a clarity. But here's the thing. This is the work that most women avoid. The inner work is the real work.
Transformation doesn't happen outside of you. It doesn't happen in the perfect gym, the nicest aesthetic gym, in the coolest trainer, in the perfect meal plan or whatever. It's not in the perfect, Pilates plan or the supplement or surgery. That is not how transformation happens. Transformation happens within. Here's the thing. We all love fresh starts. I love fresh starts. I love new plans. January seems motivating. It's the beginning of a new year, a fresh start. But here's the thing, until we learn to do the inner work, to go within, you will always hit the same wall. I will give you an example. Did you hit your goal last year? That word that you chose last year, did it manifest in your life? Or was it something you just said and then you hit resistance and you stopped? Here's the thing. You don't stop because the plan stopped working. That's not why. You stop because you hit your belief system. I will say that again. You don't stop because the plan stopped working. The plans don't stop working. Like I said in the last episode, you've tried everything, but you've committed to nothing. And that committed to nothing means yourself. You haven't committed to yourself. So the plan doesn't stop working. You just hit your belief system, your belief system threshold. It means that you hit something uncomfortable. You've hit some type of resistance that for some of us, when we don't do the inner work and we keep starting and stopping, remember I said starting and stopping is so dangerous because it essentially is saying we stop every time the discomfort comes. We stop every time limited beliefs come up, and then we make an excuse for it. And pretty soon those excuses become they become a whole belief. They have a whole new belief system, and we start living by this belief system that really isn't meant for us. And now it's become this limited belief. So every time we try something new, it's exciting, boom, then one of those things will start to come up, because it's like when you work out in a gym. If you don't have resistance, your muscle will not change. Your body will not adapt. You need mechanical tension. You need stress in order for that body to push through and get stronger. In order for you to heal, in order for you to get stronger, in order for you to evolve, you are going to hit resistance. This is called belief systems. These are called things that will come up. And a lot of the time they do look like excuses. Remember, when we go to do inner work, it's not this extreme thing. It's not like this big transformational thing. It's small. It's subtle. It's quiet. It's intentional. It's daily. It's consistent. Because inner work is building your relationship with yourself, mind, body, soul. It's surrendering daily, like the prayer I said, the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. There are going to be things in your life that you can't change, but there's going to be things in your life that you can change. So ask for the courage to change the things you can and the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And this is so important because the wisdom to know the difference between the two is called awareness. And we can't change what we don't know what to change. But once we are aware of what to change, then we need to make the change. You already know what you need to do. You are so powerful. You haven't even tapped into a small part of your powers and what has been put in you for this earth and for this world and for your life. You haven't even been able to imagine, because you keep stopping every time those things start to come up. Here's the thing. I'll say this 1,000 times, and it's something so powerful, that the thing that God put inside of you, the discomfort, the challenges, the trials, those things are there to pull it out of you. And if you keep avoiding the discomfort, that thing, that shaking, that resistance, that anxiety, that whatever, that feeling, that is your gifts calling you to press through, but you keep avoiding. You need to put yourself first internally. It has to be the utmost important thing over your kids, over your husband, over anything. You have to put yourself first. because you can't be the woman for them, for your children, for your husband, for your boss, for your significant other, for your life, for your calling, for the women in your life that need you, or whatever your dream is to be. You can't be that person. You can't rise that to that level until you learn to go internally and put that first. Now, I want to ask you some questions. Who is the first person that you talk to in the morning? Who is the first person that you talk to in the morning? Yourself. So let me ask you this. What is the dialogue in your head? What is the conversation that you are having with yourself? If building a relationship with yourself is the most important thing that you should be pursuing right now, is it toxic? Is it abusive? Is it limited? Or is there freedom? Is there encouragement? Is there, growth? Is there awareness? Is there courage? Is that relationship loving, or is it toxic? Here's the thing that I want you to hear. And I'm only speaking out of love. And I'm only speaking out of personal experience. And I'm only speaking on the other side of coming out of this. Because I know you got it in you. We all got it in us to be these incredible women and to be everything that you ever wanted to be. But here's the thing. Beliefs don't disappear when you ignore them. Just because you distract yourself away from that toxic dialogue doesn't mean it's still not going on. It's like, I don't know. For me, I grew up in a home life where there was lots of chaotic things, lots of fighting. My mom had a lot of abusive boyfriends, and it can get very easy to tune that stuff out because you learn how to survive in that. But here's the thing, we can be doing that in our mindset. We can just be putting up with the abuse and just tuning it out. But here's the thing, your life is mirroring that. Your relationship with yourself, with your body, with your nutrition, with your finances, with your marriage, with your children, they are all mirroring that dialogue that you are choosing to ignore. That's your relationship with yourself. If the inner dialogue is toxic, you have to be willing to ask yourself, to sit with yourself and go inward and say, where did this come from? Where are these thoughts coming from? Who taught me this? What experiences in my life have been reinforcing this? You can start over 100 times, girl. You'll still hit the same belief system every single time. Here's the thing, you don't fail because you lack discipline. You never lack discipline. You are more worthy than you ever will know. You stop when you meet resistance, when you hit your limited belief system wall. That's why fresh starts feel exciting. That's why January, Monday, new things feel exciting, because you are playing into perfectionism. You think that you'll do better when, or you'll love yourself more when, or things will be better when. This is perfectionism. And perfectionism is just avoidance. You are just avoiding the internal work. You are avoiding yourself. So starting over feels like a newness. You can do it better, more perfectly this time. Perfectionism feels productive. And here's why. Because it is easier to restart than to sit in discomfort. It is easier to blame than to feel. It is easier to distract than to heal. Remember, avoidance doesn't bring transformation. It brings pain on repeat. That's why you keep repeating these cycles. That's why this is called the real work. The inner work is the real work. That's the fastest way to your goal, is to go in. Because the sooner you heal these belief systems, the sooner you become aware of the thing that you're doing that is keeping you from the thing that you want or the person you want to be, the faster it will be to change. The more you keep avoiding the pain, the more you keep recreating pain. Isn't that crazy? So in order to get out, you got to go in, you got to heal, you got to work on your mindset, you got to work on your self-relationship. You can't heal what you hide from. Your inner work means sitting in the discomfort, okay? Sitting in the discomfort, feeling the feelings, observing them without blaming them, listening instead of running. This means when things start to come up and feel uncomfortable, when resistance comes, when curveball comes on our journey, and they seem to always do. If you feel like that woman that's like, every time I start something, of course, this is happening again. This always gets in the way, or I always get injured. Have you ever thought that subconsciously you are recreating that for yourself? And that maybe, you getting injured, or maybe that thing that constantly keeps happening is life saying, I want you to slow down and actually go in and work on this and work on yourself. Do you ever think that it's something tripping you up to slow you down to actually go inward and heal? Here's the thing, our life is mirroring our belief system. And if we are getting tripped up by something constantly and we're using excuses, that just means that we're tripping over a belief system and we just keep giving up. We need to learn how to sit with the discomfort, start asking questions to ourselves like, oh, this is interesting. The more you start building a relationship with yourself, the more the dialogue gets louder and louder. And sometimes it's uncomfortable at first because you're like, was I always this freaking negative, or always have this bad attitude? Or a lot of the time it's like in AA or someone with addiction, you can't get someone sober. Someone can't get sober until they admit and have awareness, right? And so a lot of the time we can be living in our own misery because we're unaware of it. And so awareness brings clarity, and sometimes that can feel painful at first, but if we learn to sit in the pain, in the discomfort, and learn from that, why am I recreating this for myself? Was it given to me? Am I creating it? Is it my surroundings? Is it my habits? Is it a belief system? And working through that. And here's the thing for healing is when you learn to sit in the discomfort, when you learn to feel the feelings, when you learn to just observe them, like I said, this is interesting that I'm feeling this way. Listening instead of running from yourself. Running could be like avoiding or numbing out or whatever, distracting yourself, or it could be an excuse. I can't do this because my kids come first and I'm too busy, or you online shop or scroll social media for hours and then that was your workout time, or you make an excuse. Oh, my family won't eat the food, so I can't meal prep and eat healthy. Like it comes up like that. It will literally come up like legit excuses. So instead of every time you find yourself making an excuse, or every time you find something coming up, why don't you start put your hand on your heart and go, this is interesting. What is this saying? Or what is this telling me? Let me think about this. Is this reoccurring? Forgive yourself for it if it is. Forgive yourself if you notice that you're trying to self-sabotage yourself, or you're trying to do it perfectly. Remember, perfection is just a way to avoid the real work, a way to avoid healing. But like I said, you never avoid, you're not avoiding healing. You're actually recreating pain. You're not avoiding pain, so you're recreating it. And so the more you press into the pain to heal, the more healing you will get. That's a funny thing about you avoid pain, you get more pain. You push into the pain, you get healing. And so forgiveness is your key to freedom in your body, in your life, in your habits. And here's the thing, sometimes you need to sit with yourself, not sometimes, every day. That's why in the Fit Club I always say morning routine, mindset is so important. That dialogue you have with yourself, that you are the first person you have a conversation with in the morning. Make sure that what you're filling your mind with and your heart with is helping you align with that highest version. And if it is feeling toxic, forgive yourself, write it out, get it out on paper, listen to a motivational thing, listen to this podcast, read a daily dose of motivation, get a personal development book or something that will help you on this, and forgive yourself. Forgive the versions of you that may have tripped you up in the past. That's not who you are now. You have the ability to change. You can choose to be better. You can choose to align with that highest version. And lastly, and most importantly, forgive the people who shaped that inner dialogue. Because there's, a lot of the time the inner dialogue is created before we even got a chance to decide who and what we wanted to be. And that's not our fault. And that's not their fault, because a lot of the time the people that love us, they don't even know, because they don't even have healthy relationships with themselves. So you have to get really real and raw with yourself and vulnerable in this time with yourself, and really get to know yourself. I'll say this 100 times, like I spent the last year committing to falling in love with myself. I'm like, I'm going to get to know myself, and I'm going to sit in the ugly emotions or whatever comes up, and I'm going to go through it. And I mean, the healing started a while ago, not just a year ago, but last year was the time when I'm like, nope, this is it. I'm doing it. I'm every morning, my morning routine, I am working on my internal healing. Whatever comes up, we're going to go through it together. I'm going to do, you know, work through all of those feelings and emotions. And so, um, you know, it's because it's so important, ladies. Your life reflects your belief systems. Your body mirrors your belief systems. Your habits mirrors your self-worth. Your results mirror your identity. You don't attract what you want. You won't attract what you want. You will only attract who you are. That's what you attract in your life. And so if who you are is operating from a limited belief system, that is what life will reflect back to you. One book that really helped me, I'm kind of going on a little side note here, is Louise's Hay, 21 Day Mirror, The Mirror Habit, 21 Days. I highly recommend it to anybody. I have a mirror, a hand mirror in my office here when I do my devotions. And I went through that, and it was so powerful. And I remember, you know, I went through, I don't know, maybe 10 days of it, and I didn't feel any emotion. She's like, it's okay if you cry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not crying. I don't feel any emotion. And it was the one day where I had to tell myself that I accepted myself. Acceptance for me was huge. I didn't accept myself. And I remember bursting into tears. And I just remember allowing myself to feel that, to feel all the emotion that came with not feeling accepted, not feeling accepted by my family, my mom, myself, most importantly, by school, by kids in school, by, you know, all of the things that I felt not approved, sorry, not accepted, approved. It was approved. And not feeling approved by anybody, and especially myself. It might have been accepted or approved. I'm not sure. Sorry, you guys, I'm kind of going on a random thought, but it was just huge. It was a huge transformation. It was a huge emotional release that I felt leave my body. And that's the thing. When you hang on to those things, when you hang on to those, they're heavy. They weigh you down. And here's the thing, a lot of us with food addiction and that use food emotionally is because we don't want to feel those feelings. So guess what? We stuff those feelings down with food. It distracts us. Some of it's spending. Some of us it's alcohol. Some of us it's drugs, sex, whatever. We find those things to distract us. Some of it's scrolling on social media. Notice yourself doing these things when you start to feel these uncomfortable feelings. I want to say this too, when it comes to going through this process in the inner work, is that I want to remind you, resistance is not the enemy. Okay, resistance always shows up. It will show up. It shows up in your fitness, it shows up in your mindset, and it shows up in your life. And it's actually a good thing. And so just like the gym, no resistance equals no growth. In order to change your body, you need mechanical tension and stress on the muscle. And so in life, when we avoid resistance, we avoid transformation. We avoid growth. And so I want to ask you to ask yourself, where am I noticing sabotage? I want you to ask yourself, where do I want to quit? This can be in all aspects of life. And then the third question I want you to ask yourself is, what am I avoiding feeling right now? Remember, a resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign to go inward. Whenever you start to feel uncomfortable, and that could show up as anxiety, it could show up as depression, it could show up as sadness. That could be resistance. And so ask yourself, this is interesting. Don't blame it on your period, girls. So, periods make us more hormonal, but still, that's a part of something that's going on, and it's a time to go inward. You're feeling angry. That could be a sign of resistance. Why are you feeling so angry? And go through that. And as you go through that, you will grow through that, I promise you. And lastly, and most importantly, inner work is practiced. It's not thought about. You have to practice having a relationship with yourself every single day. And so in the Fit Club, that's why I say the Fit Club it's not a fitness and nutrition platform or food platform for just whatever. This is literally a transformation platform for you. to build a relationship with you and connect with other women that want to do the same thing, because when we're connected to like-minded women, guess what? We're going to accelerate. But it is a place for you to put you first. And so you can do this through, again, inner work is daily work. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Like I said, 5 minutes a day. Could you do that? 5 minutes a day. In the app, we've got your daily dose of motivation devotionals. This would take you like 2 minutes to read. We've got journals. We've got the Dream Journal, the Power 9 Journal. We've got personal growth and self-love book club. This is amazing. You could start a little morning routine where you read a devotional, maybe you journal, or maybe it's reading one of the books from book club. Weekly reflection. Go over your week. How was my sleep? How's my nutrition? Do a self check-in. How was my energy? How am I emotionally? Was it a better week, better day? You could do this because awareness is the thing to help us see. It brings clarity, and with clarity we can have a choice, and when we make better choices over time, this brings transformation. Remember, this isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something consistently. You don't need a retreat. You don't need to go away somewhere. You don't even need a therapist unless you love therapists. Nothing against therapists. You don't need to do some dramatic thing. You just need to build a relationship with yourself first. And that works daily. Remember, the first dialogue you have in the morning, the first conversation is the thoughts in your head. What thoughts are the first thoughts you're thinking? And I promise you, the more you work on this relationship with yourself, your mornings will turn into something that you absolutely look forward to so much. Oh, I was so excited about this episode. I hope this hit your heart and your mind. I would love to know your reflections. I would love to know if this resonated. I would love to hear your questions. I would love anything. Connect with me on this. Is this something that you want to commit to working on this year with yourself? I would love to know. Make sure you tag me on social media if you love the podcast. You guys, this episode mattered so much. I will say this 1,000 times. Until you do the inner work, resistance will always stop you. Remember that. The real work is learning to stay, to listen, to heal, to choose yourself even when it is uncomfortable. I'll leave you with a final truth, okay? Better life, better body, better relationships, better finances. You want those to be better in your life. It all starts internally. The inner work is the real work, because transformation doesn't come from without you. It begins within you. That's it. That's all. Thank you guys for being here. I'm just so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you to spend your time in your ears, in your heart, in your mind with me. I just pray that it is impacted today. I thank you for being here, for all my returning listeners, for my brand newbies listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this impacted your heart and your mind, and I hope you'll be back. We are here every single Tuesday for your mindset coaching session. Until next time, I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.